What? Oh, I'm not starting again. Welcome to Cardiff News Plus. It's 5 o'clock. I'm Lulwarida.
And I'm Ziyu Zhang.
Policymakers, NGOs and housing providers have met for the annual housing conference held in Cardiff. Topics such as youth homelessness and the introduction of the universal credit have made the agenda, but this year more focus has been put into the issue of domestic violence, Lorena Stanko reports.
2 women are killed every week by their partner in England and Wales. Access to a safe house is one of the main concerns in tackling domestic abuse, but the demand for social housing has been exceeding the supply, with 10,000 people currently waiting on the common list.
We have got a housing crisis though across the UK, so there isn't enough decent accommodation, and one of the difficulties is when women escaping abuse end up in temporary accommodation for a long time. That's absolutely not the best place to be bringing up your kid.
Lisa Flavin left her abusive partner 18 months ago. She was subjected to control and psychological abuse, but was lucky to have her family by her side.
I mean, for someone who doesn't have anywhere to go, it's absolutely essential, because that would be a major factor in you not leaving the abuser. If you haven't got anywhere to go, you've got no choice but to stay in this relationship, stay with this perpetrator and keep being abused.
Minister Rebecca Evans says that housing has become a main priority.
Victims of domestic abuse have to be a priority because they are some of the most vulnerable people in society. They've probably sought help only after suffering for a very long period of time. So we know that when people do take that often brave step to go out and seek help, it has to be there for them.
The conference recognised the need for an inclusive approach to housing and social care, as housing can secure the independence of women who come out of abusive relationships.
And instead of asking why don't women and children leave or why don't they get out, I think what we should be saying is why do we as a society let abusers carry on abusing? Why do we keep letting them get away with it?
However, 700 people apply for social housing in Cardiff every month, but only 125 become available.
One of Cardiff's top restaurants has successfully opposed an application to the City Council to demolish its building, but Sham Nights in City Road could still be replaced by student housing in the future, Lulwarida reports.
Sham Nights, a Middle Eastern restaurant, is rated as the 7th best restaurant in Cardiff on TripAdvisor. The application was for a 4-story building for a student accommodation on the site. It was turned down because the restaurant's owner has another 14 years before the end of his lease.
The landlord put an application for demolishing the building and rebuild student accommodation. But he has the right to do so, and I have the right to do so, to stay till the end of the lease, which is till end 2030.
In the last 3 years, Cardiff has seen a massive boom in student housing. There have been 21 major developments either open, under construction, or being considered for permission. It's believed developers are investing a lot in student housings because it is a cheap way to manage a building for substantial cash back. Developers with large amounts of cash are said to be taking advantage of the economy of scale and investing in student accommodation, especially with the current high demand from international students for student housings. Locals fear that the area would soon become overrun with students, litter, and more traffic caused by the lack of parking spaces.
Students of all people, the hope for the future, to take care of the environment, are behaving in such an irresponsible way. It's really distressing a lot of people. So as far as this project is concerned, student accommodation is needed, but I think we should make every effort to look after the property we have at the moment, take care of our beautiful city.
I think we have had enough of student accommodation. If they demolish the restaurant, it would take away an option. We need a variety of restaurants here.
I was really shocked when I heard that this restaurant would close. I think he is one of the only few restaurants that present Middle Eastern food properly. I think it's a bad idea to have lots of city accommodation there. City Road is very known about its diverse restaurant and multinational restaurant.
We asked Cardiff Council why they are approving a great number of student housings. They gave us a statement saying that all cities experience changes in market conditions and wider economic factors as time progresses. And these are often reflected in the way the use of buildings change over time.
All commercial developments by the private sector are market-led and based on their own commercial assumptions. All planning applications received by the planning authority are assessed on their merits in line with the planning policy and law. The planning system allows buildings to change in use through subsequent planning application at a later date, and student accommodation can be adapted to other uses.
Developers continue to target Cardiff city centre with student accommodations, but there are fears that Brexit might impact the number of international students coming into the UK, which might affect the business of student housing that some developers rely on the most today.
The annual Welsh Business Show will held in Cardiff today with nearly 600 delegates attending. This show is an opportunity for people who run business in Welsh to show off their products and connect with others. Iftikhar Kashmir went to report.
The event took place at Cardiff City Stadium. People from all over Wales came along to take part. The businesses ranged from banks and insurance companies to media companies. There were a series of seminars covering subjects such as marketing, sales, and even business stress. The organizers say the event is essential.
I attended and exhibited some exhibitions back in 2008 and 2009 with my telecoms company. And like most entrepreneurs, I thought I could do bigger and better than any of the exhibitions that I had attended. 10 years ago, there were only 2 exhibitions in Wales, and they were very overpriced and underperforming. So I thought that there was a market for a much more cost-effective exhibition for Welsh business owners, which is why I started the show in 2010.
Next year, when this business show will come to Cardiff, Britain will not be part of European Union. According to analysis released by Welsh government, the economy of Wales will shrink up to 10% when Britain leaves European Union. Events like this will help to face challenges. Iftikhar Kashmiri, reporting for Cardiff News Plus, Cardiff.
3,000 homes in Cardiff will be part of the trial for a new system of dealing with rubbish and recycling. They will get new bins for non-recyclable waste and separate collection for glass, Ziyu Zhang reports.
Cassis is a general residential area in Cardiff. There's a problem with rubbish bags ripped open by birds and animals, which scattered waste across roads. Providing bags instead of bins to residents costs the council more than £500,000 a year. So moving to wheeled bins will help deliver savings and keep the city street more tidier.
When it gets warmer, it will attract insects and very stinky. And if you put it outside in your front yard or backyard, then it will be ripped by seagulls or cats in no time, and all the rubbish spilled on the street, and it's really bad.
Currently, glass is collected in green bags and mixed with other recyclable materials. It also costs the council £500,000 a year to process the glass and crush it for use in road building. People who live in this city seem interested in how the rubbish will be recycled after they throw it into bins.
After picking the garbage, what exactly is done to the garbage, that we are not very much aware. So I think authority who is behind this, if they put up notices and they make people aware of what exactly happens after that, it would be really good.
We don't have such a policy to promote Chinese people to categorize the rubbishes. Here I learned how to categorize rubbish. I think it's a helpful skill and a healthy lifestyle.
Staff at householder waste recycling centers would set up education stations to help people recycle as much as they can from the general waste. A new recycling strategy is being drafted by the City Council to meet Welsh Government's target. Besides, the Council will also introduce a new separate collection service for glass. Cardiff has the best recycling rate of the UK's core cities. So, is there any chance for this city to become one of the leading cities in the world of recycling? It needs more time to answer. This is Ziyu Zhang for Cardiff News Plus.
Almost 20% of pensioners in Wales are facing poverty, according to new figures provided by the Welsh Government. Many of them are also pet owners and are often struggling to feed them. An organisation has started up a food bank in Cardiff to help with this issue. Teresa Rodriguez reports.
All this food has been donated to the French Bulldog Saviours, a charity which aims to help elderly people and vulnerable adults who have their animals as only companion and can't afford to feed them anymore.
We tried to do it for the over 65s. We found out a lot of older people with their older dogs, they were having the heating or eating issue, and they were feeding their dogs first, or they were giving up their dogs, and the dogs were sitting in a dog pound for too long. Which is unfair on the older dogs. Everyone wants a puppy, so rather than separate people from their companions, we hoped if we could give them some food, hopefully they could hold on to their beloved pets.
The food bank in Ely just started this week, and they hope to attract more people as word gets round. Also, a vet charity is in attendance to give animals a free full health check by qualified nurses.
I think it's brilliant. This is the people can be able to walk in, and if they can't feed their pets, then we give them some food. From my first impressions when I've walked in today, it's very good, and I'm hoping to go over there and get more help.
In this food bank for pets, everyone is welcome, not just to sit and chat, but also to have some assistance and advice in a relaxed atmosphere. So far, this is the only food bank for pets in Cardiff, which will run every Tuesday afternoon at the Dusty Forge Community Centre.
That's all for now. You can follow us at Cardiff News Plus.
From all of us at Cardiff News Plus, goodbye.